A very good afternoon and welcome to this Saturday slot. This is the first time in the history of FD Zone we moved the event to Sunday for some technical reasons. I see a lot of new faces out here, so before we start, I just want to give you a brief thing as to what we are up to at the FD Zone. This is the 80th week. 80th week of weekly screenings of documentaries in this particular space. And what we've been trying to do is to dig out a lot of archival material from the Films Division archives and call independent filmmakers to screen their new films. This is a space for images, sounds, and conversations. We are just not interested in seeing films, we are also interested in initiating discussions and dialogue with the community and the society at large. What we've also done at times is that it's a core group of 4 people who systematically curate events. These are thematic evenings, and at times we also invite guest curators to come and screen the films. I'm very happy to invite Sridhar Rangayan, who was generous enough to curate this evening for us. Sridhar.
Thank you, Pankaj. For us, it's an amazing opportunity to be actually screening the films here at Films Division. My name is Sridhar Rangayan. I'm the festival director of KASHISH Mumbai International Queer Film Festival. Basically, KASHISH started in 2010, and it's the first ever I don't know how many people know what is LGBT. I thought I'll start off by saying what is LGBT. LGBT is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, which is that's a short form. But what we also do is we use the word queer to have a much more broader encompassing umbrella term, talk about different sexualities or different gender expressions. So Kashish Mumbai International Queer Film Festival started in 2010. And for the last 4 years, we have actually tried to make it an interesting platform for people, not just for the LGBT community, but for a larger mainstream audience to come and watch films about LGBT issues. So it usually is held every year, end of May. And for us also, as part of what we do at Kashish, we also want to take the screenings beyond the 4 days of the festival, because a lot of people might not be able to attend those 4 days. So we try to do screenings at NCPA, at IIT Bombay, and many other events where we take the best of Kashish and try to program it. And so we are really thankful that Films Division, FD Zone has actually allowed us this opportunity to screen films from Best of Kashish here. And for us, as Pankaj also said, it's very, very important that we can actually have, apart from watching films, actually have a very a dialogue about the issues which are shown in the film, or any queries we could have about some of the topics we are talking about. One is there would be, the films are all documentaries. There would be some challenging themes. So I think it's very important that all of us see the films with a much more, I would say, open eyes and open mind, and we can always discuss and deliberate about it. Before we actually proceed ahead, I would like to actually call 2 very special people who have come here, who has been a long-term supporter of Kashish and also LGBT movement. I would like to call Dolly Thakur, who is Dolly Thakur, who is on the advisory board of Kashish. So we have a very, very eminent advisory board of 7 people. And Dolly Thakur has been there, and she's been a great supporter of LGBT events and all film events and all cultural events. Thank you, Dolly. And I would like to speak about what it means, a screening like this.
I haven't come prepared to say anything. I just come to see films. But I'm so glad to be here. And if it in any way lends support to the movement, I would be there. And fortunately, Sridhar has included me from the very start that they started this movement. And it sounds very cliched to say that some of my best friends do belong to the minority, if you call them a minority community. And they are amongst my best friends, and I love them dearly. I've seen some wonderful work being done, not only creatively, but even otherwise. And I'm happy that in whatever way I can, I support the movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dolly. She has taken off some time to be here. She has got a play after that Majana monologues, I think. So thank you, Dolly, for coming in. And I would like to invite Ms. Chitra Palekar, very well-known filmmaker and activist to come, and she's been again a very, very important supporter of our festival. But more than that, she's been a very, very important supporter of LGBT movement. She's a mother of a lesbian daughter, and she's been out and proud and talking about the issues. And thank you so much as a mother actually speaking about LGBT issues. And I welcome you to speak a little bit.
Thank you, Sridhar. Thanks for inviting me. I think it's a great honor and a great opportunity for me. I had been hearing about FD, but I didn't know it properly, and this is a chance for me to come here, and now hereafter I hope to be here almost every week. As Sridhar said, yeah, watching movies, documentaries on LGBT issues, I feel is very, very important for the simple reason that we all know we are all documentary lovers, and we know that visual impact, how much visuals and sound, audio make impact on people, and especially about the LGBT issues because they are supposedly invisible. And therefore, audio-visual impact is very, very important. Another thing is that except for the 5 years in the last 150 years, it has been an unlawful community, and therefore it has been, when mainstream proper films are not much there, because when mainstream sexuality itself is censored all the time in a very illogical, irrational way, then I don't see what chance LGBT films have in the mainstream. However, people have been trying to make, and I'm sure people who fight will make them. So the documentaries become even more important, because that one way we not only the other society which is not having a personal stake in LGBT can also understand the concerns. It can, they can then sort of dispel all the myths and misconceptions and all that is important. What is important for documentaries is even million times more important for LGBT documentaries. This is all I can say. Thank you and enjoy the films, as I'm sure I will be.
Thank you so much, Chitra, for being, and she's also starting actually a PFLAG group, a support group for parents of LGBT children. She's right now trying first of all, for any mother, it's basically the first thing is she has to understand what it is about. And we're going to actually have talks about it from another mother much more later in the panel discussion. I just want to flag off small little things about the program. This has been very interesting for us to curate a program of documentaries from Cambodia, from Bangladesh, from India, and from Uganda. So it's a mix of, you'll see lives from very different perspectives from very different countries. And I think that's really important for us to know and see that the struggles in India for LGBT rights and visibility is as much matched and common to many struggles around the world. And it's not all gloom and doom. There is hope and happiness too. There has been people who have been living happy lives with dignity. And I think some of these films exhibit that. It's not always misery, and it's always not about crying, why are we like this? It also shows people who take up the challenge, become empowered, and lead very interesting lives. So I'm just going to run through what we're going to do. We're going to just do a short trailer of the 2013 KASHISH Film Festival, just to show the diversity of the films which KASHISH shows, and also to dispel the myth that gay, lesbian, transgender is all about sex. It's not just about sex, it's about human expressions. It's about all kinds of emotions, all kinds of struggles, all kinds of victories like everybody would have in their life. Gay men do go to offices, do go to work, they do cook, they do the same things like every other human being does, and also the fact that they also need love. So the trailer is just like what the kind of films we showed last year, and it can also flags off the different emotions. And then we're going to see the short film called Two Girls Against the Rain from Cambodia. About two women in love. It's fantastic, one of my favorite films. Then we're going to see longish short documentary called Are We So Different from Bangladesh. Again, it's very special because in the film, it's not just about people from the activists speaking. It's actually about ground people working on the ground speaking. I mean, you have actually a rickshaw puller speaking, For me, I never seen something like that ever in my life, And then we're going to kind of wind the first session up with Project Bolo, which actually is a film which I've done, which is a series of 20 LGBT people speaking about their lives. It's an oral history project. But this particular film treads through some of the bites of that to show what the Indian LGBT movement has been, from complete darkness, from kind of meeting in the parks to where it is today over the last 20 years. Then we're going to have a very, very wonderful discussion about LGBT lives with some very eminent panelists. So I'm going to call them later after the screening, and we're going to have a 30-minute discussion before we break for tea. All right, thank you. Enjoy the films. Thanks.